If you have decisions that you need to make and you're experiencing decision fatigue, if there's a deadline approaching or you just don't know whether or not to turn left or to turn right, this video is for you. You're going to learn 3 ways to build wisdom in your life to help you make better decisions. Let's go. I'm Pastor Richard Martin, and I'm here to help you grow through listening, learning, and living. Today, you're going to learn 3 ways to build wisdom into your life that will help you make better decisions. I'll be the first to admit that decision making is not always easy. And I'm not talking about the everyday decisions like whether or not to brush your teeth, whether or not to get dressed, whether or not to wear black or brown socks, whether or not to, and so on and so forth. But there are some decisions that we make that are life-changing decisions, decisions that do not always come with easy answers. And for those types of decisions, I believe that you and I have the benefit of benefiting from wisdom. You and I have the blessing of benefiting from wisdom. Now, when you read scripture, you'll find that the books of the Bible are divided up into various forms of literature or genres, and one of those genres is called wisdom literature. In the Old Testament, you are familiar with books like Psalms and Proverbs and Ecclesiastes and Song of Solomon. And in the New Testament, you'll probably know of James as one of the New Testament books that includes a lot of wisdom literature. And there's a brother by the name of Solomon. He's the son of David and Bathsheba. He is the king of Israel and Judah. In fact, the 3rd king of Israel and Judah. And he is known as the wisest king, the wisest man to have lived in the then known world up until that time. There's an amazing story where God comes to Solomon in vision and asks him to ask God anything. And out of all the things that Solomon could have asked for, he doesn't ask for wealth or riches. He doesn't ask for the death of his enemies. He doesn't ask for fame or notoriety. He simply asks for wisdom to be a sound and stable leader. And because God was pleased with that request, God not only gave him wisdom, but gave him so much more as well. Here's the good news. You don't have to be a king. You don't have to be a biblical personality or character to benefit from wisdom. Wisdom is available to you and to me. Now, wisdom is a little bit more than information. There's a lot of information. In fact, I would dare say that many of us are overloaded with information. Wisdom isn't even just knowledge or know-how. I think wisdom is at the intersection of information, knowledge, and understanding. That biblical wisdom, godly wisdom, kind of has an air of not just being informed, but it has a transformative power to you. That you believe that you don't have to make decisions, you don't have to go about life going it on your own, doing it by yourself, that you can have agency from on high to be able to guide you in your decision making. Now, the reason why wisdom is so important for you and for me is because, let's just be honest, the reality is if you ask 35 different people for which way to go, you may get 35 different answers. And so the book of Proverbs, which is what I'm recommending to you today, is a gold mine of wisdom that allows us to have a well-rounded understanding of what is available to us when we have decisions to make. And I want to share with you today what we're going to call the EME method of gaining wisdom and applying it to your decision making. Number 1 is the E, and that is your ears. The first way that you and I can grow more wise in applying wisdom to our decision making is by listening more. Now, that may sound elementary, but I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of wisdom that is left on the table because we can do more talking than listening. I had a grade school teacher who used to always say there's a reason why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth so that you can listen twice as much as you speak. Maybe you've heard something along those lines before. There's a great deal of wisdom to that word of wisdom. Through listening, using our ears, we gain wisdom. Now, it's not just listening to anything or anybody, but being intentional about being in positions where things are being shared, statements, knowledge, tutelage, skill sets, guidance is being shared, and you have a chance to listen to it. Doesn't always have to be in person. It can be online. One of the reasons you're listening to this right now is because you believe something said could possibly benefit you in the way of your decision making. You had some type of pre-knowledge or pre-hunger rather for wisdom, and you wanted to see, what does this pastor preacher have to say about how I can gain wisdom? Listening is one of the gifts that allows us to grow in wisdom and gain a better understanding for our decision making. I'm so thankful that my father would often position me in places just to listen. Before I was able to apply what I learned, I had to listen. One of those areas was in cutting the grass. Every Sunday morning, I'd have to wake up during the summer months down in Florida and help my father cut the grass. But there were several Sundays where I didn't touch a leaf blower, I didn't touch a lawnmower, I didn't touch an edger, I didn't touch a hedge clipper. All I did was walk with my father through the steps as he spoke about what was required. Here's how you turn on the machine. Here's how you operate the machine. Here's what you do if you need to change cording or a blade. Here's what you don't do. And he allowed me to listen so that after listening, I was then better prepared to apply all that I had received and heard. And it's the same in various arenas and industries in life. Before you get married, you want to listen to people who are married. Before you make a decision about transitioning or going to a different country or switching jobs, you want to listen to people who have done that before. Avail yourself to individuals who have written books before you write yours. Talk to people who are in the real estate game. Find out if there are persons who are willing to talk to you so that you can learn to listen. I'm telling you, listening has a way of keeping you from making bad choices and helping you make good choices. There's a friend of mine who wrote a book called One Choice Away. And if you read that book by Garrett Adams, you'll find out that what he speaks to is this idea that we can save ourselves a lot of heartache and actually add value to our lives if we listen to the voices of wisdom that are around us. That's the E, using your ear. If you read Proverbs chapter 2, Proverbs chapter 3, and Proverbs chapter 4, you'll find Solomon inviting over and over again his sons, his children to listen to what he has to say. Let's use our ears so that we can gain wisdom twice as fast as if we were to speak about it. But to use our ears does not cancel out the need for our mouths, because there is the M, E-M-E, E, ear, M, mouth. Cry out for wisdom. Ask for it. Let individuals know that you are seeking to be benefited by their know-how, by their wisdom, by their wherewithal. I'll never forget, I was early in my photography experience, and I wanted to get some help on knowing the differences between shutter speed and f-stop and ISO, and there was a guy who also was a photographer further down the line than I was. And so I went to him. We happened to be at the same conference that year, and I said, listen, I need some help on indoor photography. Can you help me? When it's sunny and bright outside, I find that my pictures are better, but I know that people take great indoor pictures, and I'm having some trouble. And not only did he show me what to do with my machine, and he also demonstrated with his machine and helped me take steps further. At the end of his brief demonstration and at the end of his brief sharing moment with me, he said, I'm glad you asked, because if people don't ask, I don't tell. Isn't that something? I mean, that story sticks with me because it lets me know that sometimes I'm just one ask away from a certain amount of wisdom that can help me get down the line further in my life. And it's the same for you and I today. Not only are we listening so that we can learn twice as fast as we speak, but we must speak at some point. We must ask. Proverbs 2 says, cry aloud, open your mouth, do not be ashamed. Like the old song says, ain't too proud to beg. This is not the time to remain silent. There is a time to listen, but then there is a time to speak out, to speak up. And it requires a great deal of teachability. It requires a great deal of humility to be able to adopt a posture of learning from someone else, to ask, can you help me learn to invest in real estate? Can you help me become a better public speaker? Are you willing to help me as I grow in my understanding of the scriptures? Are you willing to help me become a better student? I'm asking for assistance in this particular subject. Would you show me how to use my hands in woodworking? I'm interested in adding more continuing education to my professional development. I'm a new assistant or associate principal or a new leader of a business. I've been entrusted with the responsibility. There's a project that I have to lead. There's a group project, and we can go on listing examples. I'm a new foreman or forewoman. I'm a flight attendant, or I'm about to go to flight attendant school, and you're seeking out individuals who are in your sphere of influence, or maybe there's a few degrees of separation, and you want to reach out to someone who knows someone. But I'm telling you, people tend to be more willing to help those who come and take the initiative and ask. And let me just pause and say this. I know that it can be the hardest thing to do, to come out of yourself, to open up and to reach out and say, listen, I want to become a better runner. I want to grow in weightlifting. I need help when it comes to my diet. That can be challenging. It can be overwhelming for some. In fact, this may sound like a stretch, but I'll go ahead and say it. There are individuals who have waited years to open up their mouth to ask for help, cry out for wisdom, only to find out from that person or those persons when they reached out, why didn't you come years ago? Don't let that be us. I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to me, I'm speaking to us. Let us not only listen, but let us know when there is a time to be able to open up our mouths and ask for help. And then the final E is this: your eyes. Look for it. You're listening for it, you're asking for it, and you are looking for it. Keep your eyes peeled. This world is filled with wisdom. This world is filled with wise people who are willing to share their wisdom with those who are looking forward. When you gain clarity on the type of wisdom you need, when you gain clarity on the types of voices that can benefit you, you'll begin to recognize books with titles that have the wisdom you need. You'll recognize videos online and courses with wisdom that you need. You'll begin to observe people who seem like they're walking in the direction that you are trying to go, or they'll say it out loud. When you start listening and asking, then your eyes have a certain focus, a certain curiosity, a narrow vision that says, this is the way that I'm going. These are the people that are going there. These individuals, they may be going somewhere, but they're not going where I'm going, so maybe these are not the people for me. But because now I've been listening and I have been absorbing wisdom and allowing my mind to be fortified by wise, godly voices, and because I have now been asking, I have overcome that imposter syndrome. I've overcome the need to feel like I have to know everything on my own. There's something that I'm going to reach out to a friend of mine to ask for help with this weekend. I'm going to reach out to him and say, listen, brother, I have a product, I have some content, and I need help with where to platform it. I see that you tend to know what to do with these types of products, or you know people who do know, and help me out. Can you show me the way? And maybe there's someone who's saying, well, Pastor, listen, AI is here. All you need is on AI, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and other platforms that we could name. Sure, those things can help out, but they are not, in my opinion, substitutes for still those person-to-person touch points. Now, that person may then point you to ChatGPT, sure, but at least you are still making contact with individuals. You are keeping your eyes open. You are looking for opportunities to connect with people because there's wisdom that they have to share with you. You're looking for 5Ks to participate in. You're looking for 1-mile walks or runs. You're looking for groups who meet free of charge on the weekends, who are participating in painting classes. You're looking for a Bible study, a faith-based, Bible-believing, Christ-centered church. You're looking. You're not remaining idle for people to look for you. That may happen, it may not happen. In addition to listening, in addition to speaking, crying out, asking, you are also looking for those opportunities. So I'm here today at our local track. I'm about to get some zone 2 heart rate running in. As I've used my Garmin watch, what I found out is I need aerobic training. Now, this is not a video where I'm going to get all into the woods or weeds of what all that means, the differences between anaerobic and aerobic training and why they're both necessary. Suffice it to say that what I have learned is that a strong aerobic base is necessary for endurance running. And you all know that that's one of the things that I'm into. Now, how does this connect with wisdom? I had to listen to people who either in my presence or because of content that they created and shared, some video-based, some read, some written rather, I had to listen to them as they were able to impart wisdom to me to help me as I sought to grow in my journey towards becoming a better runner. I then had to ask. I would ask my coach. I would ask other people's coaches. I would ask individuals who are years older than me and even younger than me, who have been on the road longer than me or are making strides and advancements in the areas where I want to go. What are you doing? Zone 2 training kept coming up. And then I kept looking, and I'm still looking. I'm constantly combing the internet, trying to find ways to become better in running. EME, your ears, your mouth, and your eyes, if directed in the right way with humility, teachability, and curiosity, become portals for you to gain, through which you can gain wisdom for better decision making. So what do you think? Is that something that you think you can do? Using your eyes, using your mouth, using your ears to be able to gain wisdom. I hope that this blesses you and benefits you. And listen, do me a favor, check out the channel. There are other videos that I believe that you can be benefited by as you listen, learn for living a healthier life of thriving and flourishing. I want you to subscribe to this video, subscribe to this channel, share it with family members and friends if you have been blessed, and check out the description below as you can find resources there that I believe can help you in your journey to becoming a wiser decision maker. I'm off to my run. God bless you. Peace.